يمارنتي دمدامنا عينتي نبخا يقمتا كي حل المتان من قدي كي ودعه أفكس من ويتا لالله
تحس مساخة تحسي عبزخر تقمت كوي أخلني كخير كسكر معدو نعت خبري بوتا زداني غايو نعت خبري بوتا زداني غايو تحس مساخة تحسي عبزخر تقمت كوي أخلني كخير كسكر.
Hi, my name is Naomi Bereket. And my name is Nathaniel Bereket. We will be your host for today. I would like to share a poem with you. Change history. Strive to believe you will achieve. You may go through some tough times, but rise up. Lift your head up. Never give up. Shape destiny. Make history. Thank you. Thank you, Naomi, for your amazing poem. I would like to acknowledge my high-achieving dad by giving you a heart-touching speech. It all started when my grandmother died from breast cancer, which inspired him to help others with cancer. After 10 years of struggling at school, he's now a successful author on his own. I would like to thank him for providing everything I needed, but don't get me started on my 200 game one. Anyways, let me now let my sister speak. May God be with you and everyone. God bless you all. I am very proud of my dad for getting this far and inspiring me to do my best in my education and achieve my big goals. Thank you for that, Dad. And I would like to thank my mom for helping my family with all of our needs. I am very thankful for all of you for coming. Thank you and God bless you. Wait a minute, I'd like to play a few songs for you.
Hi, Daddy. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Naomi. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for being here. So I'll do the speech and then I'll do a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation about the book, and then we'll do a mini therapy session here. And then if you have any questions or comments, you will ask me. You can ask me in any language. You can ask me in Amharic, in English, in Tigrinya. Because I would like to do this in English so everyone accommodates. Accommodated. Okay, I would like to welcome you to this special event that marks the beginning of the first day I'm in control of making an impact. Every day is a gift given to us with the rising of the beautiful sun and taken away as the sun sets. It is our duty to make it in our advantage and shape history. However, not to worry if we wasted the day, because we have another opportunity if and when we wake up the next morning. First and foremost, I would like to thank God Thank you. Okay, first and foremost, I would like to thank God, who is capable of being everywhere and nowhere, to govern the universe according to our beliefs. Everywhere is a place and nowhere is time. I would like to take this time to thank my beautiful everything, Rahel. For her patience, compassion, hard work, and love. Her contribution is beyond words. She filled all the gaps that I caused in our family during my studies. I would like to thank our children Naomi, Nathaniel, and Carmel with all my love, who are expected to achieve better than me if I have to prove one of the hypotheses in Book 2 of rectitude related to corporationalism. According to my hypothesis, our failures and achievements are the basic measurements of evaluating the success of the next generation. We have to ask ourselves, are we better than our parents and their parents? I would like to thank my father-in-law Tesfai for his blessings, my mother-in-law Saba for her support and role she plays in my family. I would like to thank a mentor, my uncle Ailom Nagasi. I would like to thank my brother Daniel and his fiancée Winta. They're here with us, who came all the way from Germany to celebrate with us. I'll never forget Daniel's visit when I was proudly serving my home country, Eritrea. I'd like to thank my brothers, all my brothers and sisters. All of them are here. And I would like to thank all of you who I didn't mention in this note. I would like to thank Dr. Cox, Dr. Hurley, Dr. Deberg, Dr. Aquino, Stacy, Dean Baker, all of my professors at University of San Francisco. I would like to thank Elizabeth and everyone in Walden House. I would like to thank my editor Lee Rubin and my designer Tamian Wood. If there's anyone who is ready to write, who is writing a book and wanted to publish, come to me, because I have a lot of information for you guys. My father passed away when I was very young. He was such an amazing icon and my hero. But my mother has a special place for me. A special place in me. She's the reason I chose to be a nurse. After watching the excellent care that she received from Ethiopian and Kenyan doctors and nurses when she was diagnosed and treated with breast cancer. You see, doctors treat disease and nurses treat patients. I chose to be a nurse because I wanted to care for others that I was not able to do for my mother. People measure achievements using various methods. Some are satisfied with higher education, someone to be rich, someone to give, and others want to teach. What I call achievement for me is to write one good book that impacts at least 100 souls. Let me tell you a story. During my clinical rotation in one of the hospitals in the Bay Area, I cared for a stage 4 breast cancer patient with excruciating pain. Her words when I went to her room was, "Your presence in this room is not a coincidence. Nothing works. So please help me make this pain go away." I performed my assessment and went back to the nursing station. With the charge nurse's permission, I went to my patient and gave her the manuscript of this book. She read 11 chapters in 2 hours and reported no pain through the night. Thank you. With her permission, I put her comment on the 3rd page of Rectitude. I'll read it for you. It says, to a fellow light on the path of soul liberation, with gratitude and love. It is a word with a deep meaning. I didn't even realize at that time she was an accomplished author of a book called Vision of the Grail. May God rest her in peace. By the way, I anticipate that the rate of addiction and mental illness will increase in the future due to many reasons. One of them being lack of socialization and technology, such as screen time and artificial intelligence. Therefore, as a tool, Afrotherapy can be the future of one of the alternate therapeutic techniques. I would like to thank all of you who bought this book. And please help by getting more books as a gift to your loved ones, so that my wife and I are able to donate a percentage of the sales of this book to patients at Walden House and African refugees. I and my family are truly blessed with your presence here. Thank you, and God bless you all. No? No, put it in English, please. Because I will start the presentation now. Now, if we're ready, lunch. I think lunch is ready, and please.
جمرتي دمدم عينتي نبخا يقمتها كي حل المتان من قدي كي ودعه أفت سمن قلتا لأنه
تحس مساخة تحسي زخر تقمت ويغلي تخيل كسكر معنا ما تخلي وتنزل ما تخلي وتنزل تحس مساخة تحسي زخر تقمت ويغلي تخيل كسكر معنا ما تخلي وتنزل
America is rough for its mentally ill, and then what happens is people used to be in a mental health institution before the 60s. Then after the 60s, people started to go to their communities. Then what happened was there was a lack of funding. Then after the lack of funding, people started to suffer the consequence of mental illness. Actually, people think when you see mental illness, people with mental problem are violent or anything. All you hear is very bad stigma. But mostly people are suffering on their own, especially people with schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. And mostly what end up happening is they hurt themselves. So what we do is we have a lack of medications, lack of way of treating these individuals. So this is a kind of way that I created so people can have an alternate therapy. And then I would like to invite you to listen to the second video. So what happens is he would just make another crime, commit another crime, and get back again. And then no one is helping him. So if you see the book, there's a place, for any one of you who read the book, Walden House is one of those places who would bring those people from the prison and have them ready before they get back to society. So this Afrotherapy helped these individuals, and to give you a testimony. When I created this first, there were about 10 people, about this much people in the session, and then by the time I'm done, 3 months later, there were about 200 people who were interested in Afrotherapy. Because you have no idea how we Africans have a very rich culture, and our proverbs are very helpful. They are like untapped mines. So if we use them, they can change lives. And then so for some of you, for example, if you need help, what you do is you'd go to the elders and ask them, but they will tell you one proverb. And then that proverb, the elders will tell you this proverb with wisdom, so that you cannot get judged. And that's what I'm trying to enforce here. So let's listen to this guy.
I don't know what I'm gonna do when I go home. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I got it all together. I don't know if I got it together or not.
Jabbar Currents was an inmate for nearly 11 years at ADX Florence, the most secure prison in the United States. He landed there after attacking guards at another federal prison.
I think what I'm most concerned about just snapping one day. Just going off. And just, just losing it.
And he did. 3 days after his February release, Currents sexually assaulted a woman in a park. He was convicted on 4 charges and currently faces up to 8 years for the attack, but could get 20 to life if convicted of a 5th charge. ADX Florence is home to notorious criminals like a 9/11 plotter, Sakaras Musawi, and El Chapo. All inmates are kept in solitary confinement. Some can only leave their cells to exercise alone or in small cages outdoors. But most prisoners at ADX are not infamous criminals, and only about 40% have life sentences. Currents says his time at ADX exacerbated his mental illnesses.
I got borderline personality disorder, schizoaffective disorder, cyclical mood disorder, bipolar, antisocial personality disorder.
Since 2015, there were at least 3 other cases where prisoners released from ADX committed serious crimes. We spoke with 11 former inmates. Some are living happy and productive lives. Others say their time in Supermax made them even more aggressive.
Just made me angry, real angry, that I was knocked down like that and isolated like that.
Ed Arrow is a lawyer who represented 18 ADX inmates in a class action lawsuit filed against the Bureau of Prisons in 2012.
Everything here is inmate. What we found was a prison that was full of people who were, many of whom were catastrophically mentally ill and who were receiving little, if any, treatment of any kind.
The suit alleged that the BOP violated its own standards by keeping mentally ill prisoners in severe and isolating conditions. One inmate drilled a hole in his forehead. Another ate his own feces. Several died by suicide, according to the lawsuit.
When you house somebody at a place like the ADX for years, which we know damages them in a lot of different ways.
What this is saying is, these people are in prison and they are not ready for the society. Okay. Now, listing 2 things. These people were physically in prison, but there are people among us who are in prison within themselves. And what happens is, I can give you some signs of things that you need to be aware of when you see changes. Those things, very simple, but you have to understand those things. And then you have to address them. For example, if you find someone giving away a very valuable gift or very, very valuable item to that person, you have to mark that down. Why would that person give a valuable item? And then the other thing is, if a person is taking medication, and then if that person is showing a progress and very happy and a sudden change of behavior, that is a sign of another danger. So be aware. People who are quiet and then when you see those people changing their behavior and then become all of a sudden so happy and then reactive, just be aware of them. So watch them. Okay? And let me continue about Afrotherapy. So what happens is there's hope. So the hope is coming from Africa, actually, where we're from. So what I did is I cut proverbs, collected about 2,000 proverbs, and I cut them and then gave, say if there is a group, I gave each person one proverb and I asked 2 questions. First one is, what is the meaning of the proverb? And the second one is, what does it mean to you? So we'll exercise that together, okay? So if you have the book, it's okay. If you don't have it, I'll give you proverbs, and then I'll give all of you a proverb, and you one of you will ask what the meaning of the proverb, and the next one is gonna tell what it means to that person. So African ancestors led by wise elders transferred lifelong knowledges to the new generations using stories and proverbs. I applied these proverbs to moderate a preferably smaller group of at most 10. I typed and cut and gave a proverb to each participant, who would read them, meditate on them, understand them, and interpret them according to their view. There was no wrong answer here, and there no judgment. For example, in our culture, we are afraid of judgment. So that's one of the things that I want you to be aware of. When a person is telling you a story, or when a person is afraid, that means it's a fear of judgment. So please understand and be empathetic for that person. And all participants will agree not to share personal information outside the group and agree to have conversations with respect. So if I give you these proverbs, you would have a conversation, and then when you have that conversation stays within the 2 of you, within pair. The outcome I saw in this study is participants opened up and have conversations. Participants from various races were surprised. A simple proverb from poor Africa can provide valuable messages of hope and balance. I observed that the participant groups grew from around 10 first day to over 60 after 2 sessions. The assessment is healthcare organization, support group, or even families and friends can use these proverbs to assess each individual for ability to interact with each other. So what happens with these proverbs is, say for example, we are okay, right? No mental illness here, right? Fingers crossed. So everyone is okay. So what we can do is, at least say, if you have a teenager, how do you talk to your teenager? And then those teenagers too, like they don't want to talk to the parents because there's that age gap, and then everybody needs privacy. So what I propose is, you will give them this proverb, and then you just talk with these proverbs, and then that proverb will open up. What would that tell you is, so you will know your significant person mindset. For example, my teenager here, an imaginary teenager, who is confused about life. Don't get me wrong, guys. Teenagers are not confused. Just someone, this ideal person, would come to me, and then if I want to talk to that person, what would I do is, I would like to know his mindset, so I could help. And then I don't expect that person to tell me everything. And I will know from the very beginning what he wants, so I can solve a problem. So this is what I invented, and this is so when you go to healthcare, for example, say you're going to a hospital, they take your blood pressure and you're sitting down before you check the doctor. So what the nurse does first is, this is a secret, but not a secret thing. Secret for you, but not a secret thing. So what we do is, we put you on a scale. So what we do is like, okay, is this person is is at risk to fall, because we don't want that person to break his leg or hip or anything. So what we do is we give that person a scale. For social therapy, I invented this scale, and then what I did is when I give them the therapy, I individually I give them a score. The first one is if the person is inattentive, non-reactive, I give that person a 0. If the person is inattentive, interested, I give that person 1. Attentive, non-reactive, I give that person 2. Attentive, reactive, 3. Attentive, dominating, 4. Over-attentive, non-reactive, 5. So what this scale does is, for me, is a ratio. I'll get a ratio. So when you're in nursing, you will learn management. So I'll get a ratio, and then it's a standardized way of assessing groups. So the results indicate that clients are observed to show various manifestations of social interactions. Various behaviors are expected based on clients' interactions related to their personal experience. They can control or not. The scale helps recommendations for further assessment. So this scale, I'm not going to try it with you guys, but I'll do it only with patients. So what I'm going to do is, after I give the score, it is a recommendation to the doctors. The doctors are the ones who diagnose with the disease. Nurses, as I told you, we treat patients. So let's have a conversation. So I'm going to spread out the proverbs, okay? So what you will do is you will just read the proverbs, and then you pair up with the next person. If there's difficulty with English, you can translate for them, please. So what you do is 2 questions. One person would answer what is the meaning of the proverb, and the other one would be what it means to you. So go ahead, start the conversation.
Start to say something.
Is like fire. People take it from others. That's democratic rhetoric of money. So, for me, if I was the person in that session, well, what I would say is, we all know that when we have fire, we ask for our neighbor, or our neighbors to ask us for fire, and we give it to them, right? That's in our country. Is everyone aware of this? So, wisdom is the same way too. So if I have wisdom, I share it with you, and if you have wisdom, you share it with me. And the next one is, only a wise person can solve a difficult problem. A difficult problem is, all of us have been through many difficult problems, and you're here because you guys are wise. Okay? So that shows you're solving problems and you're successful. That's why I admire you, and you're all my family. knowledge without wisdom is a water in the sand. What happens to a water in the sand? It sinks, right? So that's what knowledge without wisdom is. Say, for example, if I have a master's degree, doctorate degree, or if I even didn't learn, and if I'm not wise enough, that means nothing. About learning, to get lost is to learn the way. That shows, I would interpret this one the other way around. Have you ever been lost? And then, if you are lost in the same place again, then that means you have to ask yourself. Don't be lost twice, right? So I want you to learn from your mistakes, and then me to learn from my mistake and be wise. Then the other one is, if you close your eyes to facts, you will learn through accidents. What happens is, if we wait for accidents to happen, then we're trying to learn from that accident, and that accident will teach us a big lesson. So this one is about leadership. As we know, leadership has a deep meaning in our society, in Africa. So what happens is, with leadership, we have community leaders, mostly led by elders. When we see elders, elders are, say, nominated by groups like us, and then these people would lead a group. For example, in our culture, we have Adr, Mahbar, church group, and we have leaders. So in order to lead, we have to learn these things. Peace does not make a good leader, a good ruler. This has a deep meaning. It's from Botswana. Peace is supposed to make a good ruler, right? No. A ruler is a person who you didn't elect, actually. A ruler is someone who is imposed on you. And and you find those people when there is crisis, actually. So be aware. People who come and if they lead you out of crisis, then they are good leaders. But these people keep you in crisis, then you're in trouble. There can be no peace without understanding. Oh my God. Think about this. No peace without understanding. People who are in conflict could be between countries, between individuals, between ethnic groups, or could be anything. If you don't talk about your problems, it's difficult to bring peace. And the peace should be a lasting peace. And for example, one of the good examples in our lives is between Eritrea and Ethiopia, right? So the day I saw Dr. Abiy Ahmed went to Asmara, I was so emotional. I remember it was at 3 a.m. So Dr. Abiy Ahmed is the new Ethiopian Prime Minister. To give you the background, for any of you who don't know this, the two countries were at war for about 20 years, and many lives were lost. And then still affects people. People are scattered from both sides. Families are dispersed everywhere, and friends are separated. That shouldn't have happened. Like, for example, over here, who can tell between an Ethiopian or an Eritrean? What we need to do is we need to have understanding, and we need to talk about our problems. And then it's not just about the countries, it's about the group, the ethnicity, and everything we have. We have to understand ourselves. And then the day that Dr. Abiy Ahmed went to Asmara, I sat at 3 a.m. by myself, and I was emotional because during the conflict I was in the Eritrean army, and I saw many things happen. And serving your country is a wonderful thing, but if it is, I wish things happen for a good reason. I wish we're doing it to help each other. I wish we're doing it to farm a land, or to solve a problem, or to help our people who are sick, or anything. But conflicts are not really good, and I learned my lesson in that conflict. So the next one is community. We Africans live in community. This is our asset, actually. I wrote this book mostly for Americans because I see the lack of sense of community in America, and I see people are living on their own. If you see, children don't go to the parents don't go to their kids, and people are separated because the lifestyle is busy. Everyone is busy doing their stuff, and what happens in America is, if you saw in the quote in the book, I called it a life of ant and grasshopper. So if you see ants, what happens with ants is they line up to go to work and they line up to go back home, right? So do you see any difference in our lives now in America? We line up to work, go back home. And how long have we been doing this? And then what happens to Americans? Ever since they were children, they would go to work or school, and they will walk to work or school and come back home at the end of the day. And then they would not find the meaning of sense of community. And then one of the things in my study is the lack of that community and socialization is one of the problems. I would really encourage you, everyone, let's keep our community, and then you need to have someone you call a friend. You need to have someone you would hug and talk to, especially with things that you really care about. It's not that only with superficial things, because I know we have a problem of judgment, so we have to overcome that feeling and then at least find a person who understands our feelings. So one of the proverbs related to community is, cross the river in a crowd and the crocodile won't eat you. So what happens is, if you see deers, they would cross the river in group, and then when the deer splash the water, the crocodile would go far away or leave the space because they don't want to get smashed by the group. So they have a reason, and they evolved to do it that way. So if we have to overcome our problems, we have to do it in a group. So we have to say, for example, a husband should work with his wife, and then siblings should work together. And then please, don't try to do anything on your own. There may be people who experience that, and then who can help you solve that problem. Many hands make light work. I remember an Amharic proverb, "Dir bi'abir am b'sayasa." So it's the same. If you work together, you can achieve. Where there are many, nothing goes wrong. So what made this place wonderful, and we're enjoying our time because people over there are working, and everyone has a role. The person who cooks, the person who decorates, and the person who is talking here, and the person who is listening. So nothing works on its own. We are one, and we work in a group. The next one is about family. There is no fool who is disowned by his family. This is one of my favorites. So what happens is, think about your kids, think about your family member or anyone. So when I talk about this, I'm talking about my patients, an individual who is not someone I know, okay? So if you see someone in your family who is not doing the right thing, you wouldn't just disband that family member. You would just wait for that person to go back in line. Or if you're the one who is making that mistake, or if you're the one who is going the wrong way, your family will not leave you. So please understand, if you are separated from your family because of a problem that you caused or the other person caused, I know it's hard. I know we have our rages, our everything, but let's find a way to go back to our family. And then the other one is home affairs are not talked about in a public square. These are African elders who would encourage privacy. So please keep your privacy within yourself. What happens is, if you talk about your problems or your family problems in a public, what happens is the public is not the help is not coming from the public. Only judgment comes from the public. It's only you and your family who can solve a problem, or a person who you think can help, a friend, or a therapist, or anyone who is closer to you that you trust is the only person who can help you with this. So the next proverb is about friendship. A friend is someone you share the path with. Okay. You saw a couple of friends from my school, and I have one professor who was here. You probably didn't see that person, but it's when you have your friend, that's the person who you can trust to share and to pass through anything, difficulty, happiness. Actually, think of, for example, when you have encountered a problem, or say a family member passed away, or someone is sick in the family, and then your friend is the one who would come and then give you a comfort. And not only that, during happiness, actually, in my belief, in my personal belief, a person who I call a friend is a friend who is happy. When there is good thing happen to you, and think of all your friends, and then think of your best friend. Is that person happy when you have your blessings? When you are really happy? When you hug that person and tell them, okay, I'm really happy. This happened today. And then if you see the first impression, if that person is happy for you, then that is your best friend. And then the other one is show me your friend and I'll show you the character. For this you don't even need explanation. Even if I don't know you, give me a chance to spend a day with your friend, and I can tell who you are. Or you can do it to each other too. Money. The rich is always complaining. Zulu. So Zulu are South African tribes. So these people would say the rich are always complaining. Okay, so I'll tell you. Do you guys complain? If you complain, then you're very rich. Yeah, so I always tell my friends or someone I know, like who complain, hey, you're very rich, so keep complaining. And the other one is the wealth which enslaves the owner isn't the wealth. So if you have a wealth that enslaves you, one example being a loan. Take a loan, and then it's hard for you to pay that loan. You bought a house with this loan, huge debt, or you bought a car or anything that you value. But what happens is you have what you want, but you're living as a slave for the person or for the bank who is owing you money. So you will leave paying that person. I don't even know if you will enjoy what you have. So First of all, if you have wealth, please make it have it within your means. Make sure you can afford it. Don't buy anything or don't take a loan for something that you can't afford. It's not that you can't buy. You can buy anything, but you cannot afford anything. Yoruba is a Nigerian tribe. Beauty. Beautiful from behind, ugly in the front. This is one of my favorites as well. Beautiful in the behind, ugly in the front. This could be good or bad. Say, if you look at me now, I look good, right? So, and I feel like I'm beautiful at this time. You guys look beautiful. What happens here? Do you really know my background? Am I really beautiful? So what you see beautiful in the front is not always beautiful. And please be careful with every beauty you see. It could be a person, it could be a material or anything. Don't get too excited unless you really know about that thing. The second one is from Baluba. I don't know which these people are from, but I know they're from Africa. The skin of a leopard is beautiful, but not his heart. So think about a leopard. Leopard is so beautiful, so impressive, but his heart is telling him to eat you. So whatever you see beautiful doesn't mean that person is your friend. Please be careful. Could be a person who you live with, could be a person who looks like your friend, or a coworker, or anyone. Please, you have to make sure that your friendship should be mutual, and you have to understand each other. Love. So the elders would say, pretend you're dead and see who really loves you. So if you think about this proverb, have you ever thought of what happens when you're not around, when you're away? Do you feel like people who made a promise to you will stand by when you're not around? So you have to know who is around, who loves you. So pretend you're dead, which means pretend that you're not around, or give that person, a person you call a friend, a responsibility with a small thing, and then check if that person delivers that responsibility. The next one is, to love the king is not bad, but a king who loves you is better. If you think about that, we all love our kings, right? King of kings. Say, for example, we believe in God and we say, we love God, right? But which one is better? Is it that I love God or God loves me? There you go, thank you. How about your friends? Is it that you love them or they love you back? Which one is better? They love you back. Make sure people love you back. But I'm encouraging you to love them. But make sure that person would consider you that you love them back too. So loving back is better than loving another person. A happy man marries the girl he loves, but a happier man loves the girl he marries. Okay. Any one of you who are married? Raise your hands. So, think about a man who marries a girl he loves. In the other way around, what happens is he sure that She loves him. We don't know, right? But how about a happier man who loves the girl he marries? Okay, two things in here. The first one is, before you get married, I call it the happy moment, the infatuation moment, the honeymoon moment. So it probably lasts 7 years. My wife, Rahel, where are you? So she'll tell me, 7 years is a honeymoon time. What happens after the 7th year? By the way, we're celebrating our 15th anniversary next year. So you're all invited. 15 since we get married. So a happy man marries the girl he loves, and a happier man loves the girl he marries. So I was happier early, and I'm happier now. I'm happier forever. And I hope she's happier for me too.
I am.
Now you can go. Let's talk about patience. We know that patience is a higher value. In Tigrinya we call it Agisti. Amharic we call it Tigist. Patience. So a patient man will eat ripe fruit. So, say you have a fruit. How long can you wait until you see that fruit is ripe? That's how we are measured by how I can measure your patience, and measure your patience that way too. Say if you have a fruit at home, a tree, or you bought a fruit that is raw, and can you wait? And if you wait, you'll get to enjoy the precious or sweet value of that fruit. And the next one is, at the bottom of patience, one finds heaven. Heaven is when you're happy at the end, when you're successful. Could be work, could be education, could be waiting to get married, could be when you have kids, could be anything. But at the end, with patience, at the bottom, when you finish, you will achieve. So we Africans value food very much. So we have about 6 or 7 kind of dishes. Some spicy, some delicious. We have vegetarian food, we have injera, we have bread, we have everything. And then we have proverbs about our food too. The food that is in the mouth is not yet in the belly. Okay, it could be about the food, it could be about something else. And it tastes good. Or you taste the food, it tastes bad. But at the end of the day, the food only works when it gets in the belly. And then trust me, the belly doesn't recognize if the food is sweet, delicious, vegetable, or junk, or whatever you call it. What happens is, it only takes nutrients, and then it gets rid of the things that it doesn't want. And then it would store the things that are in excess, and then it would use the enzymes or the nutrients from the food. So at the end of the day, be aware of what you put in the belly, not in the mouth. You cannot work for food when there is no food for work. So what this means is, in my opinion, if you work for a food, that means you're putting yourself in slavery. You have to be better than that. The first meaning is live within your means. It's not just about the food that this is talking about. This is could be about bills, could be about anything we have in our lives. So when you work, instead of working for food, there's a difference between work for food and food for work. So I'd rather have you work to have a value, not for food. So in this proverb, I considered Africa as a religious continent. We have two major religions. We have Christianity and Islam, and then we have lots of other traditional religions. So I use these proverbs with our patients too. Say in the Bible, I chose two. Here I chose two proverbs. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of the wisdom. All who follow his precepts have good understanding. To him belongs eternal praise. So, whatever knowledge you claim, whatever knowledge you have, whatever money you own, whatever wealth you have, we are very insignificant to the universe. Do you know that the universe has many dimensions? And actually philosophers will call it, if we live, if we're too insignificant and too small that to judge or to limit the universe, there's a term called reductionist. So these philosophers would call these people who deny everything unless they see are called the reductionists. So we're too small and too insignificant to say if there's God or not. Or if we're too small or too insignificant to say the universe is this or the universe is that. We have to be bigger to understand what it means. The fear of the Lord is the foundation of true knowledge. Okay, here, what is Lord? Do you use money as a Lord? Do you use your friends as a Lord? Do you use a person as a Lord? Who is your Lord? If you fear that person, yeah, it's a foundation of your knowledge. What it means is you're limiting. Say if your Lord is very small, your knowledge is very small. If your Lord is big, your knowledge is big. So please choose a Lord, a bigger one, not a smaller one. And the other one is, I quoted proverb from Quran. So there are lots of stigma. I would like for you to understand. Islam is a wonderful religion. I would like for you to know. We have to stop judging. First of all, here in America, people don't know the stigma that Islam is in America because of ever since 9/11, especially. And then people who are Islam are really living in fear. And then we have to understand them. We have to come together, because this religion, the three religions, Judeo-Christianity and Islam, lasted a lifetime. These religions were here with us for 2,000 years. And then we have to respect each other. And then we don't judge people because of their religion. And actually, let me share a wonderful wisdom from Quran. It says, respect, honor all human beings, irrespective of their religion, color, race, sex, language, status, poverty, birth, profession, job, and so on. Can you believe, for people who have no idea about Islam, that the Quran would give us this? We have a stigma, guys. We just go talk to people. If you talk to people, you will know. Just because people wear differently or people have a different view, it doesn't mean they have they're wrong. Actually, I found out this proverb from the Quran is very inclusive, irrespective of religion, irrespective of color, sex, or race. it's a wonderful wisdom here. We have to follow. At least we have to respect. Then the other word from Islam is, from the Quran is, talk straight to the point without any ambiguity. People who are trying to trick you don't talk to you straight. They go around, right? So, what Quran is advising us is, we can control ourselves. We cannot control what others say about us, but at least we have to talk straight, even if it hurts. We have to just toughen ourselves, talk straight, and deal with it. I think that's it. Now, thank you for listening. So this book was a big project. Now I'd like to thank my wife and all the editors and everyone who is involved in this. And I would like to show you a couple of videos at the end. For this one, I don't need an internet, so you guys should be okay for this. I have a good friend, a community leader, Mayor Samedar is here. You probably know him. And for those of you who don't know him, he's one of the advocates in our community. And we probably have differences, or political differences, by the way. Yes. I'm a Democrat, he's a Republican. No, I'm making this up. He's our community leader, who I see a future in him. He probably will be the next Eritrean president. I'm telling you. So he would like to say something.
Well, that's too much for me, but I'll take it if you give it to me. So we went to the same school, to USF. I graduated a year earlier than Bereket, and then he graduated a few months ago. What I want to say is, we come here as refugees, as immigrants. We struggle, but then we strive, we work hard, and we try to be the best version of ourselves because we were given another chance in life. We came to this country, what do we call it? The land of honey and, what was the second word? Milk. Honey and milk, okay, yeah. The land of honey and milk, which is true. But what's more important is that when you see immigrants and refugees come to this country, they strive, they work hard, they make a name for themselves. And not just for themselves, but they also try to be a tree with a fruit for other communities. And that is what we see in Bereket. When I say that, I mean it because we've seen the product of it today. There's a famous an educator by the name Horace Mann, he says this about, because he was an educational reformist. This is what one of his famous quotes. A house without a book is like a room without a window. And today, what we've seen in Bereket's success, in what he's done, in what he's struggled over the years with the help of his wife and his children, is that we get to see a product in front of us, the book Rectitude, not just for him, not just only for his family, but also for communities around us. We've already seen the success of the book, how it impacted other communities. And this is, I'm guessing, just the beginning. And we hope to see a lot more from him. The other quote I want to mention, which is by the same person, is that it says, "Be ashamed to die until you have won some victory for humanity." And that is true for Bereket. He has won a victory for humanity. He's addressing an issue that is at the core of all of us, refugees, asylees, immigrants, especially if there are Eritrean communities here. We have a collective trauma. We also have a trauma that as we come here, that we struggle every single day. Adjusting to new culture, learning new languages, and trying to be the best version of ourselves, although we don't know the system. So that also I see in Bereket today. He have won some victory for humanity. What kind of victory? He's addressing one of the key problems that society faces. I face, he faces, many immigrant refugee community faces, so does many other minority communities, Latino American, African American, many other issues. Today, mental health has become something that's recognized even by the US government. Some years back, some decades back, people never talked about it. In our community, it's a taboo to talk about mental health. And it's still a taboo to this day. Although we know that we all are facing this mental health crisis within our community. So where does that brings me? It brings me to Bereket. And the two quotes I just told you. Be ashamed to win a victory for humanity before you die. And Bereket is a role model for me. He's a role model for our community. He's a role model for refugees, asylees, and immigrants because he's already won a victory for humanity. And for that, I want to congratulate to him, his wife, and his family. And thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Miro. Thank you, everyone. So I know you guys read. You guys are good readers. I believe in you guys. But there are readers out there who are listening to us through social media and through YouTube, but barely find a book or barely read a book. Because for all of you, I would like for us as a community to start to read. Less screening time, more reading. If we read, and we can, that means we're, first thing is we're appreciating people who write. We can have more writers. And then when we read, we learn more. So whatever I achieved for the last 4 years is in this book. That means based on my ability, you guys can read whatever I achieved. That means we come to the same terms. So I appreciate everyone for reading this book. I want you to read it. Please, I will just save it. And then every one of you for watching this, please continue to read. And I would like for you to buy books from other writers. And please encourage Eritrean, Ethiopian, all writers to write and then to support. Thank you very much. مجلسكم كفلوا أتي حساباتنا كله بجكات منفساوينتنا كما يغيرنا بسنة فلتتك حسابنا ندلبك كنحسب علينا يلو يمعدني نيرمو تزعبي حسابي. Thank you Teddy for that. أجنتايو كاندي سخو محواتي كاندي أباكم زلني عابا خبروت كنقراكم للي مالتي مجمرتا أتاقوا علي با I know إلكم كتسمحس لسحازة كتاتعقوا خلوكم كستايكي تخونوا Anyways, أنت حساب علاتني إسا همبيبة إسا مسوداهم نبذة PowerPoint presentation كحلفي. زيا صحفتي سلال حسابه ملخت سلزلوا اندحر نوت حيسكم أب حنقولكم مالتي دعرك تعطون تقوليهم موقرو كبد زبل حساب كهلو خليو مالتي I don't know. جن نعقوم إلى زدال أخوان من تايم الصغم at least زنببكم سبات زنببوا سبات كم زغون ونفلته زنببها زفلتيو زفلتها ينبريو مالتي تنابرا نبرو مالتي أجيت زنببو نجر كم يجير الدوي في كل نجر أجي أزز زاربو زلخو بمتن رديتي زبط حكوا يومو كاباهم زحاشة في التلت زلنا نجركم كأخير حسبوا مالتي مجمرتا نزي أدراش سلزدالونا نهينا كن زنبابا بتعمي مسكنكم هتاقوا لك بليز عقوزنا فتكافلوا أبزي أزمت أخم حواتي كلهم بلبي مسكنكم بويتا يباركم لومي صحيح كتبرق كلا استوهابتنا صحيح تعرف دما توسدنا هيابا لومي زحلفتكم اندحرا لكم بزو حيتجنبوا كابدكاس كنت بقدامنت فؤاد املاخ اندحر كوينو بصباح تحوز ببرو اب نبور كبابين اب زي نبور هواهون which is everywhere and nowhere كنبر كأنت زلوه እግዚአብሔር ይባል نبور كبابي بوتا خون كلو زي نبور هواهون دما ጊዜ everywhere is a place and nowhere is time اب ساينس انتاي بلو space time بلو space time بحسب ودسب كنبصحو زي نخليو مالتي اب ساينس تخنبصحو زي كأننا ود سبات مالتي دك سبات بفلتت زي بصحو نجر سبيس ساينس بهال مالتي نحوغن كما حدر سلطان زلو نسو املاح تراي كتيلا نزا وقفت ورق زخونت ابيلا راهيل نعي وقفت ورق يزبلا وقفت ورق سلازخونت يمسغنا فتو افتمرت خلخو زنبره هاغاف مولو بليا مسنعتي حقيقه كابو حليفه وكل وصخلنا بعلال كابا زوسدكو فلتت ابزا مصحف سلازلون يمسكنا ندكنا ناومين ناتون كارميلن من شحاغوس غزانا سلازخونو يمسكنو كلنا كبدكنا بزح تسقيت علينا على فنت كسكمو خاي يقبا كمتي مصحف يصحفكو هايبوثيسيس hypothesis of corporationalism تبل أبتا بارتون حريقهما أبات ركابة. Our failures and achievements are basic measurements of evaluating the next generation's success تبل. They are my hypothesis. لنفسنا هنحطوز قبا نقرالو. زانتهم سلازلنا كابولدنا ولدومنا أبز حاشد كنت هتدولنا نفسنا هنحط ذالنا بيناي ملكي. تاريخ كنقرأكم. أبسان ماتيو ميديكال سنتر براكتيس قبر كلهم أنتي بستيج 4 بريست كانسر تساقز نبرت سب يا ألينيرا. أما دكسة خفلا مساعتهم مجمر تزبلتني ناتكا أبزم هلا وعقات أمي كونه. ቃንዛይ ካብ ዝፃወሮ ላዓሊ ስለ ዝኾነ ሓግዘኒ ኢላትኒ ሽዑ ርእሳ ሒዘ ጸሎት ክገብረላ ፍቓድ ኣፍቂዳትኒ ብድሕሪኡ ንቻርጅ ነርስ ኣፍቂደ ናይዛ መፅሓፍ ማኒስክሪፕት ክተንብቦ ሂበያ ሽዑ ዓብ ለውጢ ኣስተውዒለ እዚኣ ሰበይቲ ኣብ ውሽጢ 2 ሰዓት 11 ቻፕተር ኣንቢባ ብዘይ ቃንዛ በጢላ ሙሉእ ላይ ትደቂሳ ምክንያቱ ኩላኻኩም ምናልባሽ ካብ ሰብ ዝሓመመ ዝኾነ ሓደ ሰብ ትፈልጡ ትኾኑ ይኹም እቲ ካንሰር ማለት ከመይ ከቢድ ከም ዝኾነ ብፍላይ እቲ ሜዲኬሽን ከቢድ ከም ዝኾነ ኣነ ምስክር ኣዝዩ ከቢድ ንደቂ ሰባት ካብ ማእዝን ዘስሕቱን ኣብ ሕማም ዘቃልዑን ነገራት 3 እዮም እቲ ዝሓለፈ ነባሪ ዝመፅእ ኢለ ብ3 መቐገበ እቲ ዝሓለፈ ዝብሎ ትራውማ ነብሲ ኣቢዩዝ ነብስኻ ዘይምክንኻን ድኽነት ወይ ከዓ ፖቨርቲ ሃይጅን ወይ ከዓ ፅሬት መንፈሳዊነት ምስኣን ትነባሪ ዝብሎኻ ኣመጋግባ ኤክሰርሳይዝ ትፅቢት መጠን ሓጎስ ወይ ከዓ ጓሂ ሓደጋ ክኸውን ከሎ እቲ ዝመፅእ ከዓ ዝብሎኻ ተስፋ ምስኣን ወይ ከዓ ሆፕለስነስ ዘይምዕቃብ ብጥበብ ወይ ከዓ ብዓቐን ዘይምንባር ገንዘብ ምብኻን ልቓሕ ወይ ከዓ ዕዳ ካብ ማሕበር ምፍላይ ወይ ከዓ ሎንሊነስ ካብ ማሕበር ምፍላይ ትርጉማ እንታይ ከም ዝኾነ ምናልባሽ ትርድኡ ትኾኑ ይኹም ሰብ በይኑ እንድሕር ክነብር ኮይኑ ኣዝዩ ከቢድ ኣብ መወዳእታ እዚኣ መድረኽ ተረኺባ ከላ ሓንቲ ዝተሰክፈ ነገር ክውስኸልኩም ኣብ መንፈሳዊ ህይወት ንዘለኹም ሓንቲ ምስ ሕማም ኣእምሮ ርክብ ዘለዋ ከካፍለኩም እዚኣ ቃል ሓዝዋ ጉግል ግበርዋ ኣብ ዩቲዩብ ከዓ ቪድዮታት ኣለዉ ረኣይዋ religious grandiosity ትበሃል one of the symptoms of mental illness ኣብ ሳይኮሎጂ ብዙሕ ኮንፊዥን ትፈጥርን ንመንፈሳውያን ዘስሕት ጠንቂ ስለ ዝኾነ ትጠንቀቑ እዚኣ religious grandiosity ትበሃል ሲምፕተም ነዚ ሕማም ኣእምሮ ዘለዎ ሰብ እንታይ ይገብሮ መስለኩም ነቢይ ይገብሮ ትንቢት እዛረብ ምስ ኣምላኽ ተራኺበ ብል ብዙሕ ዓይነት ተኣምራት ክገብር ፍትን ብዙሕ ነገር እዛረብ ከምዚ ዓይነት ሰብ ሕጂ ሓደ ከጠንቀቅኩም ዝኽእሎ ነገር እንታይ እዩ ዝደልዮ ነገር እዚኣ ካብ ሳይንስ ፐርስፔክቲቭ እዩ ዝነግረኩም ኩሉ ነቢይ ኣይኮነን ኩሉ ፃድቕ ከዓ ፃድቕ ኣይኮነን ነቶም ሕሙማት ካብ ጥዑያት ቃል ኣምላኽ ተወኪስኩም ምፍላይ ናይ ነፍሲ ወከፍኩም ተራእዩ ብምቕፃል ናብታ ዝዳለኾ ፕሬዘንቴሽን ክሓልፍ ቦታ ይባል personal experience they can control or not ማለት እንታይ እዩ ኣብቲ ናብራና ከሙሉ ጀዕላ እንድሕር ጀሚርኩም ሓደ ተሪኦ ዝረኣኹ ማለት እዩ ሕጂ ክቆፃፀር እንድሕር ዘይክእሉ ተረዲኩም ምዃን ሕጂ ተን ታ ፕሮግራም Are you ready? Yes. Okay. ሕጂ ሓደ ካላይካ what does it mean to you? ጀምሩ كابزين زمرسكوا عن بروفر أنت ناتي حسب كبركم مالته. The way. دي انت زي في حاسك تميجر كملس.
جنا أبيتي جابي رأياتهم كم يجيك أدرس دور زبال قالينا ببحر مثلنا لنا قالينا بسرعة كنيرنا قالينا بكينات أثناء لنا قالينا سبات بسهرة موت لنا لنا ترى أنت مالتي إثي أو زرعة ثانية إثي أو تمرتات زنابرة مسحة حسكاك نتقبل لها ويبليتي في رأيك هولو قالنا هتسمعي تي ولا ناي بحري أنا ناي كينات أنا من دحر على غيره سخان ترى مالك بيكا ترى مالنا هجي إزي مالك كوفيلنا كيلا تانتينا نحن كنا تأمرنا نحن تعيي أيقونا تمر برالله فلاي مرحلة متخصصين نزي فتح حساسكم دل مالتي سلامتها نحن عب حالة أولا خوفيلنا شكر لها فتح زينتي حالة خبط ملكوتو ناي تراما تسعي سلامتها نحن نقابل زي خدنا سلامتها مشكرنا بحسب قطعه زين زلنا ويكا أبناتنا تزعبي تسأكن ناي كوميونيكيشن تسأكن زفترنا زلنا سلامتها نفهدي إلنا نزارة زين دل نحر زي نجي حالة خبط تسأكن زغا زي سوشيال ثيرابي زبال بري رسالة علوة زلنا أكل ناتيو أنا يمكن تايم تسبقه حالك زي حالة حاولنا ستايلنا نيرو كابي إرتراس 30 عام يجي أبكينات زحالف أبكينات تواصل استساعة سنين أو بولان مسكين انتاي لمو مسخات ترابية تقبل على كلامه إنها تصار خمسة ووصلها صار you are not normal سلام يعقل وشيلو نغلط عمد أب حال designated أب حال سوسيال سفر وشيلو نغلط عمد الزنوار كله ترامو أو تيمو بديسكشن نام هارو نبت نورمال سات مليسوم نعنا يلانا ينزل مري تعبنا للتسقم نرات كابتن كانوا حبرة السبب صار بتسقم في بناقين تقبيل يزورنا وش يزور زلمر جنا تسعة يتفوز نزل وش يزور تغازغا معته ونابرنا نريس نزلنا نحناو تي عبدكنا مسمصناو أتريتمنت نهاتو أب سوسايتي نواسا أخولنا حبرة السبب أب تبي ترسل نواسا أخولنا زي نجراز زي بسافي عندنا تجلس أخير نحن قديمنا هاي فوسو في الناقي نورمال سب نكون خيرا سلازي إذا بزح نجارات يزوروا إذا تمرتز عاد بسافي تمرتين نايت سب نلعبكم نحن تحاول تايلنا نعاني يرتاحن سبات متين طعيات سبات متين كمرونا له نجرنا نحن زي سبدينا أولنا يعك بتن معك أنا ناي تعيش سبسي سلام تاينا زي دندت سلام تاينا حوار نازي بلان بوليسيا علمسي نابغيت خلاص نحن كملنا بديس معنا مرة أبرز تاوي نفسك لبينا وثمرنا نازي بكا استاك كوين واحد أنتوا نقولكم أنا شكرا لله إذا الله انترى علينا مسكينة مزارع لوالنا بتخلص تابع عبي زغا خبر الله سلام تاي دينغات زينا سلام تاي نحن زغوي ناس we have to push them ليس ناس محاطون حالة خبط زين سلام تاي communicating قبل زين ده بقول بوسي هذه الناس أنا كزار كله صح سمعني وكأسان زار كله أنا سمعك شكرا زين فتي انتخوني دارجا نملس إرتاوزي كوفيلو أبطارا كوفيل تسامع عليه ما تفوتوا عليه ما تفوتوا that's the problem حجنا عنا أنت عيد قالوا هاي نسمعنا no شكرا لك أنا يبرر حوي بزح assignment لك أبشر كذي ما أسأل حملة السبعة الذي عودنا سالتون مني الكلام
أنا أقولكم زيا تدي زلال زعزال استي صاحبي you don't want to be a nurse أنت يمسلكم تزداد له صحف برينا ريولوكو كلمن تي بزعبان إرفراوي زملكت ناي anxiety disorder كنتي كل شيء استمر راس أخوه مالتيو كسياسة استمروا كهيز بالفوا مالتيو أنا ليس نتي awareness كفلتوا إلى مالتيو حتى يروح حتى ناتنا سجون كنا نروح مجمرتا انتي غيره أبتعبي جميرة أبتعبي جمير كله انتي أبعدنا زينلو عينت جبنات كري جميرة مالتيو زين جبنات مولو أكيبا جبن أو أوروبا جبن أو كندا أو أمريكا أو إسرائيل زينلو عينت جبن مقايرة كابي بسيط هجي إتي زين جبنات مولن دوكيمنت غير حيزل لكم باي ذا واي ساك عليت مزحفة عند حرام الله يقول لي ساك قص لا يمانج ግን anyways إذا كم ذا تيري زبالنا أنتي anxiety disorder زبال برقص ريقول له برقص بلاكم الله هجي بخامة يمسلكم عند حر أرنو anyone nurse wake up خمسة بنسكير عند حر لكم مجمر تختمارو هلكم أنتي sign and symptom عند حر تماهيكم مجمر تطريقه go to the public public كتكلوا هلكم oh my god إذا diabetic oh my god إذا blood pressure على حاجين تحتقونوا مسلكم كنديس زرع نجار كم زلور دا مخنياتو تزرعي نجار أتسيو كلي أزيو أجيب ويو أب سنة حسا ويكا فلسفنا انتايو نيتوكي بعدين يقول على لازيا نزلخون زرخون كوسا بيزنه زخون نجار كتير يخلهم برس I view هون في أب كندي جنعين حرفيت وفيت نحرقهم مني I look good right بتعريفك كني لونه انت قميت زراعكم كله تهكني مالتك انت صعدا زبلكم صعدا يكون ترديهم مني صعدا زبلكم صعدا يكون صعدا نحكا تبايلنا نسينا لنا مش هذا صعدا يكون عم زلو صعدا فليتكم يا اوريدي اجنتايو تي أكندي في زرعي زي رأي نجار علومه السوق نفوسه زبانة أنا خا قالت زيا دحر جزين دحر رقيبة تزاد له كل قصة كبر حلا بنت لنا إحناسي نتايو بس إحناس كندي 200 خام مش حكي 200 خام ولا قلت 200 خام محبر كنت زبازح محبرنا بدقيز مو كم يجيرنا هنا تدقيز له محبرنا نا جزانا خلنا نسوي comfortable كنكون يكون مو تحرس معنا خاخ ولا نقف عند خروها تزبينا كم يجيرنا نتسب كنسمعون لنا زبل مجمرتها استراتيجيك بلان كنوم صارنا نجي بلان دحراوتي خل كم يجيركا نتسب كم ترخو نتسب كم تحجزو حسب مسكة مالتي تي مدى كله دقر مسكة مالتي بزح كم زحلكم يدلني جن anyways أمود داتا زي عمل صحافسي زجاج أخو ما هو كم سنوكم فاتوا مالتي بتاعي أجي كتام هو اللي يالله ركز هم هو كيس بفلا يعني كتام هو اللي يالله بزح جديد وصل لي تا corporationalism تبل حساب زي corporationalism تبل حساب زي فاهم كله up 2008 financial downturn كله بزح حساب تمزابي اللي يبز عادي زنبر كله 2008 جزاه كل سب جزء foreclose هنا up to foreclosure تاعت المسلوب community بمولو تبعتاتي كل ما له شيء صار عند حرب 2008 2009 شغل تابعوا المسلوب سدرافة حلو تي تساقمنا mental illness كا بخمو خان دابز عندك نفس عادي تفلتوا بالباز أنك خان يزنتاي جريد سسع مو كم يجينا خم نفوسه هجي انتاي وابتي corporationalism ناتي سنا حساب انتاي مسيو هو تجريد زبالتي تانكي ناي سوسو نبلوسي كوربوريشنات يومينا بزح نزاربينا مالتي كوربوريشن كنسأل يومينا ግን ኮርፖሬሽን ማለት እንታይ ማለት ማህበር ማለት ካላይ እንጂ እንታይ ናቲ ሐሳብ እዛ ኮርፖሬሽናሊዝም ቀንዲ ክስታያ ነጥብ አንታዩ ሲነርጂ ማለት እንጂ ሰባይን ሰበይትን ኮርፖሬሽን እንደዕደልዮም ማለት እንጂ ሓደ እንዳበለ እንዳተመላለ ከነበረ ብኸሙ ጌርካኻ እዩ ዝነበር በይንኩም እንድሕር ኮይንኩም ዝኾነ ነገር ክትሰርሑ ትኽእሉ ትምህርት እንድሕር ደልይኹም ሕተቱ ነቲ ዝተምሃረ ነቲ ዝወደ ስራሕ እንድሕር ደልይኹም ነቲ ዘለዎ ሰብ ሕተቱ ድሓን ኖ የበልኩም ይሰብ ጀስት ሕተቱ ወደ ኣይኖ እንታይ ፀገም ኣለና ካልእኻ ብፍላይ ኣወዳት ማለት እዩ ናይ ምሕታት ፀገም ኣለና ኣነ ኸማ እናተይ ፀገም ሓደ እቲ ፀገምና እንታይ እዩ ክንሓትት ሲ ክስቱ ሓወይ እዚኣ ነገር ደሊ ኣለኹ ሓሳብ ክትበኒ ንኽንብል ብዙሕ ፀገም ኣለና እንጂ እዚኣ ክንለምድ ኣለና ተበዝሐ ሲ ተገደደሲ ሰብ ኖ ይኽእለና ንስኻ ፀገም ኣይኮነት ድሓን ንኻልእ ሰብ ካብ ንኸይድ ግን ኣትሊስት ክንሓትት ኣለና ማለት እዩ እቲ ሰብ ዝኸዶ ሕጂ ንኣብነት ንበል ንስኹም ካባኹም ሲ ሓደ 5 ሰብ መፅሓፍ ክፅሕፍ ሓሳብ ዘለዎ ድሌት ዘለዎ ሰብ ይህልዎ ኾነ ብዚ ኣነ ዝሓለፍክዎ ሲ ክትሓልፎ ኣይደሊና ንገሩኒ ሽዓነ እቲ ናይ ኤዲቲንግ ናይ ዲዛይኒንግ ናይ ፕሮሞሽን ኩሉ ነገር ክስታይ ከብሎ ከካፍለኩም መዝሙር እንድሕር ኣውፂኹም ሲ ፅቡቕ መዝሙር ዘሚርካ ሲ ዝሰምዓካ እንድሕር ዘይሉ እንታይ ትብሉ مش حكي؟ يا كسارة هجي أنت هتجبر عليك كم يجرك بروموت جبر زي خا ناي سوشيال ميديا ناي كله جزء موقت واسع لك كله معناته هجي خمون دا جبرنا نفسنا خنا مع عبل نخل نفسنا خنا حبي نخل معناته
اوكي ما كان البلد تاشمي يلا الجلال سكون كده
انت تحتو مثلكم زيانا ميديكال ترميا مسوخا ابينا نخيرك زيا خمسه زياس ابيا تاتو مثلا حكي
تقدمي كتا ميديكال ترمي بزح باكابر تتكين كامو مش حكي كمان يا باكو هو تكنيكال لايك
هو تكنيكال لايك
شوف ميديكال سي
هو
كم قطعت عندش كم ينعش مور اكسبلين دبرج
وحكى ريها حنت صقم نايتي ليتريتشر ابني تغرينيا ليتريتشر زي لو مخانو حدث ليتريتشر مالت نغيرونس تقالات يبلنان ديبريشن كتزارب كلا تنقطات مس نغرتني انتي ليا ازي حمام بعدنا يلن ليا بحق خايل نغركم ديبريشن اب ايرترا يلن ስለዚህ ለኻ ሽሜ ብሉ ከምዚ ሓንቲ ርግቢት ኣሲርኩም ኣብ ኬጅ ኣትዋ ኣብ ጋቢያ ኣትዋ ብድሕሪኡ መግበይ ትሃዋ ተረጊኩም ተኣሳሲራ ኮፍ ያትብል ዘላ እቲ ዞም ሰባት እንታይ ይመስለኩም ከምዚ ኢሎም እቲ ገጾም ፍላት ፌስ ኢና ንብሎ ማለት ፍላት ፌስ إذا إلى خلك تي ناي نرسين ترميو أنا قبلت أخر مالتي فلات فيس نحرق أو إذا كفوا سجبوا مالتي الجمال واش عم منفسوي حال هيك أنت هيك خون خال أنا حدا زي مسمعي كمان زعلان اليوم يقرأ له بزعل راسي أنت أيو اتصل بيته مستغيرة اتصل أيقونة كال سبي تنبوا سب كالي سوي يرداكم هون تزبلون لك مالتي كم سبكات فلوس تخون هجي عيبلع عيسدي عيسرح عيتصري بك كله نك تأساسيره كوف that's depression نبر نحنا تشنكات نبلو depression هيكون تشنكات سي كمان تشنكات يتوابع نعزة تشنيك هذا خميجر كها يا anyways تي literature ويكات سنح تي قال يبلنا نكتبينه هارون أبو كنا كم يجرون سرحوا له خايف الثاني بس كده
قاعد أقول أقوم عين الدكان اللي صار هذا أجي غربا جدي ده أساس تجيرو لكن تحكي استرزي أكتبرنيا علو يلا تقولون ده يوزعي عين الأمور نزل online كم كارما نعمل ناي كربا جدي ناي depression كان تقوم بلو جلسات كذي أزياوي سلالة قليل من الوصول كثير. أزياء أنا بعده كان أعتبرني أفضل متقامر النجار يكون دي عندي فول ترقوم استو أول مرة عندهم functionality المقلات عند إيرتراوي تقول إيرتراوي تقولون حادثة لكن وصول ملاوي وسكا مستقر ما كان فانتازم الإمبريشن كذا مستقبلي سلالة ينو أجي أمكيرهم بيقول صوف تنو أجي من الوقت أساس أي كان أولندا دروا كذي كبراب يمسكنا لو أبي سياد مشهور يعني لانير ومسامسون مالو بورتلاند زيادة مشهور أشيز أورد شير ديرهم أجي أرو تزقل كله على كل حاجة sorry
كمان إحنا نبدأ تعمل بس نوري أوكي نوري سلزم فانسي أي تزارب منها مالتي السوق عروسي أتمنى الناس بعلو أب بهالناس نوري مش حكي تزحم من أنت هات قبره وسيفك ما شلون هات أصلا كم زي مش حكي نبرك على أدرس تقبر عتفنا عتدلينا جس بزح ناتو بزح على مالتي كانوا داعي نخلينا ندحر جميرنا مالتي زين يعني 4 عام تمردي أنا خمان يا أخوان كان anyways نتسقبركم لي حاجزن حساب البنور يقمص البنور جي تي كاندي أم بنور جيس كنا نبالنا سبعة كن حجزالنا جزيا نحنا أبتي كلايدي سالساي chapter ناي هيوتنا ينزلنا انتي كلاي سالساي chapter مالت بنفسنا درجة زخون نجار ندابلنا نبكالا خاجسنا ندابلنا كي نابو جسنا ندابلنا خنكيد علن مالتي ونافكم جسنا ده حركة نهاجرنا ها نحسب على مالتي
مجمرة خمس كنا كافوت بري حوي تعلنا عي إنسبير كيركاني هو بوزع سبكم وغينو خون نحن غنزل بوزع تساقم علينا قدامي ندراو في التأتيبنا كالاي أملاخاو في التأتيبنا كم تزيد لي إذا أمن أبزل بخلتنا قبتن كيف كانت حسابات نحن زلنا شكر قدامي منبار توري ويتي anxiety كله خطوصات يعني حد depression كاب زي مثلات وي كاب lack of communication وي lack of knowledge تمت النجارات هجي أبزل medical terminology بتزبط حكاية it life of ستايل كونكونا زلنا تي بروفربس كاب زتصرحنا هجي قال إذا حج درا أخو أنا نعي أجاب سامتي تردي خاني هجي تخطر له تصرحك أبانا ودلو شكري ولو فتو ما عدلو هم سخادر لنا حواتك خواتي هيس خواتي نزلنا جرز خم حوات كاسي بنتي أدفايس كتبنا أدخل تي إكسبلوز كابانا يجيب لو فتو رجلو هم سخاد فلتنا برينا كان حلف جنا أخو معنا شجرنا هنجلسنا في سبات هاي كمان this is كابتنات كاب بت medical of course I know جنا عين step كير كلها لحبت الواحد الكايو ويك أسرع practical ground ترى هايو نجاراتي كم متأزمات على personal أنا بفلاي نتي ناي سبات شكر ده أو تزارو بخنا بالقليل برشكور الزارو باي رأي في الستيتس قاعد جمالتي دحر تي ناي مباري وتنا معوري كوين أيسمع عني أنا خمنا باي ما لسه تيجي بالأكسس ده يكون أنا إذا تحز نسيتي تقدر يكون سي تلايف أوف منبار مالتي كابتن أركا كل كونسبت غير كهذا لسي قال حد conclusion advice تبعنا أو لا مرة تهيدا appreciate أنا
زين كان نباي أنا فلسفنا نسنا حساب بلسة ثم ما جمع ثم هذا هم يو نيم ثاني بيجي متى هذا أوكي plate or cave allegory بعض جملات زانتا يحرقون زي زانتا أجي أبو تاتنا أنتي زانتي أمزنا كنا زمان نقرمش أنا خاب زانتا خنا كاي شو خاب تزانتا خانات كمل صفر سبعة أوكي بليتو كيف عليه قولي بليتو انتي له مسلكم زعالم زيها بملئ تمالتي هاب كيف يتنبريو كيف كان كيف بعتي أخلص أوكي ما يكنس أبعتي زنبر أبعتي درجة له كل مالك أنت حتى زنبر كم سامعين كما هم وتزات مالك بيلم داخل فلا لا حيل زاتو مالك كم سامعين كما هم لعللو حق زخبر له بولايس بيت فردي كلنا حق تكالات له العلم سلكها بوليتيشن صار دحين أما ضمن مهران قال كلهم أبتحتي مزبورات كلهم دي بوليتيشن انتي كريو أبتاكي برهان عم بنزي أزرعهم مع برهان برهان انتي مسلكم تنابرا مالك أمريكا كمان نابرا عندي مش حكي زي أنا أمريكا برهان عندنا كمان بحرينها ما عندنا برهان كأنه عناها ما أصرتي كيف لك هذا شو أنت يقوم مسلكه politicians أبتاج أفنى كيف مسكوا أبلع عليهم بطل أنت يكريو خلو لايت تخك اللايت حق إني نابرة حق خريو خبيو دق زلوا حتى خلاص ستسرعوا خلنا بركة ريو له أنت نابرة سرعة بتان كخون كقصر له ترى مرة أجي تي عندي زستوعب سبقالة نفسه الليبريت زجمارسة نتالايت كري أخذ أتوم فلسفنا بحسنا حسب زلوا سبات تزحسب سب داويلو أوكي هذا اللي زين سب أجي أنت يقبر يوتس تلايت ريو يملس أجي مسو نبي حوي برهان رئي له تخدوا كايراسي تخكر يكون النعم ريح كيف تعالي تصبوا على الله إذا زي تفلت أنا غير حاتصبوا على الله تبغى أبتاز الله هاي comfortable بس فونكا I'm fine شو السباي مسو please نعم إجا شو أنت هون بوليس متس يدفع politician متس يأسرع ترى خاني كم يستخدمون كباكا إزاي كم نسخة تجمر مالتي جنابنت نفس خاص كم يخاطر أبو علق اندحر أب نفسي أبو شيء تسيبه ماله إلك تحسب اندحر كوينك بتفكر أدرس جدول كمان جيت حقتها تعلمه مالتي بناحك من يسخين privacy قال كله حلوين مالتي بخمو خجل كده
نزل أولهم أتقع نقوله أبدا عبدت مزمور أملا خبيلا متاكم ولا أبجيزنا أبغى لنا هولتنا أتقع نقوله
Society.
كل صبح زبالة كابتي أبي سلزمان نحاولنا جميع سعد زيابير سلزرقة عندنا لما نزل جرزي كريا زيابير بزمعة الدوس لزبالنا خبرنا هكو سمع زيابير عملنا سلطة عالم حرات كان سهل خان نسينا كلام صراحة حق زيابير عب زمن يوزنا عبنا برنا كل قعزنا زيابير سليت لنا سلزل خان نسينا كلام لو نحاولنا بقدر زيابير كم تقال كازبرو تبارك الله جابر سلزبارك كاين مسكين كلام نأمنون حساب سلزبارك كاين مسكين كلام عاوت مسلات تابع سلزخون مسكين كلام جميع كأتود قويت سلزخون كخبرنا بكلام جابر أملاخي برزد ما خيف حزله جابر أملاخي نوع عبيت نجارات كتود ما تصدقوا دقة كتود تصدقوا بيسوع كريستوس يعيش من جابر نور صحة جابر أملاخي نعاب عيوب جابر كشامل وتصدقوا منفس كخمر حتصدقوا نوزحات نتصدق عم تخون كرسي جابر أملاخي أب أندوز جابر أملاخي أب كنافور جابر قال أمره تقوم نتصدقوا بقول تابع يسوع كريستوس يعيش من جابر زلنا شكر نصحات فوق جابر فوشي أباها جابر أملاخي نحن تابعها جابر أملاخي ሰባት ያቃሙ ተቀሙ እግዚአብሔር ተቀሙ ለጽዳሉ ንብዙ ለስድሩ እግዚአብሔር ነርባዓት ቤት እንደኩን ሁሉ ንባርኸም አለና እግዚአብሔር አብዝ ማህበረት እግዚአብሔር ከም ዛመሰለ ጽቆ ነገር ስለጀመርካ ተመስገን ኩሉ ጽያብ እግዚአብሔር ኩሉ አምሮን ማመመልሽ ተወሕዞ አብዝ ማህበረት ጽዳሉ መመልሽ ግንፍል ጽዳሉ መመልሽ ንምድር ኸድን ጽዳሉ በኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ በጸጋ እግዚአብሔር ጸዳል ኩሉ ጽዳሉ ለዛሃፈና ጊዜ ተመስገን ለይትና ጊዜና ኩሉ ባርክ በኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ ያውሽ